Battelle Memorial Institute was founded in the early part of the 20th century as a charitable trust focused on research in metallurgy and allied industries. But to better understand our history, we'll need to go back a few decades to learn about our founder, Gordon Battelle. Gordon Battelle was born in 1883, the only son of John Gordon Battelle and Annie Norton Battelle. His grandfather, Reverend Gordon Battelle, was a staunch abolitionist and chaplain during the Civil War. His father was a wealthy industrialist in the iron and steel industry, and his mother was active in the women's suffrage movement and various charities. His family influenced Gordon's interests in industry, metallurgy, and service to the community. Although Gordon studied metallurgy at the Sheffield Scientific School at Yale University, he was not a scientist. However, he strongly believed that science could help businesses solve their problems. In 1923, Gordon Battelle died while recovering from an appendectomy. He left $1.5 million of his estate to found the Battelle Memorial Institute for the purpose of education in connection with and the encouragement of creative and research work, and the making of discoveries and inventions. Gordon's will also established his philanthropic intentions for the organization, directing that a portion of the profits be distributed to charitable institutions, needy enterprises, or persons that will do the greatest good for humanity. Following Annie Norton Battelle's death in 1925, her will left the remainder of her estate, more than $2 million, to the same purpose as her son. A total of $3.7 million had been set aside to start the Battelle Memorial Institute. Battelle received nonprofit and tax-exempt status in the ensuing years. Most of the bequests by the Battelles were in the form of steel stock. In 1928, the head of the Board of Trustees thought that steel stocks were overpriced and converted the large majority of the stock into government bonds. On October 3, 1929, Battelle opened for business on King Avenue in Columbus, Ohio, with 30 employees. The original building, now known as Building A, still stands on our Columbus campus. Less than a month after opening, the stock market crashed, signaling the start of the Great Depression. Had the trustees not sold the stock the year prior, Battelle may have never existed. In those early years, Battelle made advances in metals and material sciences. Battelle landed its first federal contract in 1939 to supply tank armor leading into World War II. Battelle's reputation in metallurgy led to fabricating the then almost unknown metal uranium for the Manhattan Project, the project to develop the first nuclear weapons. While most of Battelle was focused on wartime efforts, Chester Carlson demonstrated his static electricity-based photographic process for making copies to a small group of researchers. Battelle played a major role in further development of the process, later known as xerography. Battelle later entered into an agreement with Haloid to manufacture a machine to use the process. After the war, Battelle's nuclear research continued, helping to develop fuel for the USS Nautilus, the first nuclear-powered submarine. And then in the early 1950s, Battelle purchased land to develop a research campus in West Jefferson, Ohio. This facility formerly held the first privately owned nuclear reactor. In 1959, Haloid, which had now changed its name to Xerox, began manufacturing and selling the first office copier. By 1970, Battelle researchers were responsible for 164 patents in xerography. Battelle earned almost $350 million from agreements with Xerox. In the mid-60s, Battelle developed two products that are still commonly used today: the barcode symbol, known as the UPC, and cruise control for automobiles. In 1965, Battelle won its first contract to manage a government laboratory. Today, Hanford Works Laboratory is known as Pacific Northwest National Laboratory, or PNNL. In 1974, Battelle pioneered the method to record digital information on optical discs. Our licensees include virtually all manufacturers of compact discs. In the 1970s and 80s, Battelle conducted significant research on integrated and fiber optics, receiving approximately 20 patents in this area. In 1987, Battelle formed an international fiber optic venture, PURI, with Mitsubishi and NTT. In 2000, Battelle sold its portion of Puri for $225 million. In the late 1990s, Battelle, along with its partners, began management of 3 national labs: Brookhaven National Laboratory on Long Island, the National Renewable Energy Laboratory in Golden, Colorado, and Oak Ridge National Laboratory in Tennessee. The rare site cell isolation device was developed to enable scientists to quickly identify and study tumor cells, including cancer cells circulating in the blood. Battelle was a founding partner in Metro High School, Ohio's first STEM school. Battelle's STEM education initiative has since expanded to state and national STEM networks and schools. From Gordon Battelle's will through decades of research in science and technology, Battelle's unique and interesting history provides the foundation for our mission and strategy today.